We were expecting for upsets, and both our teams were knocked out of the FA Cup.
So we were upset, but not in that sense, not in the FA Cup upset sort of thing. Oh dear.
So before we go through the matches, let's go through the results. On Friday, we had Aston Villa Cardiff 2-0. Crystal Palace Millwall 3-1. Preston Burnley 3-0. Bournemouth Wolves. Bournemouth went through on penalties. It was the score was 1-1. Man City Plymouth 3-1. And Newcastle Brighton 1-2. 2 red cards. Man United, Fulham. Fulham went through on penalties, 1-1. And on Monday, we had Newcastle and Nottingham Forest, Ipswich. Again, Nottingham Forest went through on penalties. So what do you make of all this?
Oh, well, yeah, we didn't see any upsets. Obviously, we knew there'd be one championship club in the next round in the quarterfinals guaranteed, and that was Preston. Yeah, so that good for them, good win, especially against the Burnley team that never concede. They don't seem to concede for weeks and weeks and weeks, so that's a good win for them, and it's like a local derby. So a lot riding on that one for them. So yeah, they're in the next round. As for our teams, yeah, I'm still getting over the Newcastle result. It was quite a tough one to take. Played well in parts, but Brighton are a tough team. We knew that was going to be a tough game, but yeah, the goal disallowed in pretty much the last minute of the normal time, from Shah, where it was just his sort of his shoulder and arm and a bit of his leg, not even a bit of his leg was offside. It was really...
It was this new semi-automatic system.
Yeah, it still seemed to take a long time to make a decision, but yeah, semi-automated. And
apparently there are 9, if I'm not mistaken, 9 new cameras.
Oh, is it? I'm not sure. Yeah, well, that makes sense. But I prefer, if you're going to do it, I prefer it to be semi-automated to speed things up a little bit. But that was just real, it's so close. And that's what I hate about it sometimes, when it's just like a weird part of the body. It's not like he's going to shoulder it in, is it? But anyway, so that was a tough one. And actually, the foot that he scored the goal with was onside. Anyway, that's just me speaking as a Newcastle fan. And also Anthony Gordon getting a ridiculous red card, losing his temper, and he's now banned, unless they appeal, which they probably won't. He's now banned from the League Cup final against Liverpool, as if it wasn't hard enough already without one of the star players for Newcastle being banned. And then Welbeck, he fair play to him. He delivered the goods, didn't he, and won it for him. But
yeah, but before that, you were man down, and then
then they got
another. So it was 10-10.
Yeah, well, we got Gordon sent off, and then they had their man down, and then it was 10v10 in extra time, and it was a really good cup tie actually for a neutral watching it end to end, exciting, and all the reports I'm reading of it are saying what a great game it was, and the pundits are saying they enjoyed it, but. Yeah, when you come out the wrong side of it, and it's really late in the extra time they scored as well.
It was good for the travelling supporters because a long trip back home.
yeah, they'll be celebrating all the way back down to Brighton. Yeah, good luck to them. Good luck to them. It's it's good to see these sort of teams in the quarterfinals, and I hope they do well. And we've also got another South Coast team, haven't we? Bournemouth in the quarterfinals. So you never know. The FA Cup could be going down to that part of the country. Who knows? Man United, come on, let's go on with Man United. I mean, more disappointment, isn't it? Especially at home. I know Fulham are a tough team, but what did you make of it, the whole thing?
It was a shambles. There was anxiety all over the place. I mean, you could feel the fans. It was, again, you were chasing the match because you were 1-0 down. And then Maguire scored, and you're expecting that this is not going to go our way. You could feel it. You could feel it. It's sometimes a match starts, and then you could feel the body language of the players, their reaction, their movement. You see, there was something going wrong here. So if they wanted to go through, they shouldn't have gone to penalties because, okay, they chose start for end. They would, then the first 3 penalties were really well taken, and then you're wondering why Lindelof. Everybody.
I was about to
asking.
say that. Why? And why do we see this so often in penalty shootouts when teams put their defenders to take it? Surely there's, maybe he's confident enough to do it. And I think he did actually take one for the Swedish under-21s whenever it was, when he was in the youth at Sweden, in a championships. But that's different to, different when you've got other quality players on the pitch who actually, they're paid to strike a ball, aren't they? That's their job. They're paid to test the keeper, to put it in the back of the net. And then you've got a centre-back turning up, and, when you've got other people on the pitch to take that penalty. It was strange.
And not only that, it's just, you don't really expect Onana to save a penalty, to be honest with you.
You don't have enough faith in him to save it.
Well, he has it's a fact. I mean, okay, unless the other, the opponent misses, or,
Yeah. That's a worrying thing, isn't it, to have when you've got that situation as well? Because that's 50-50. You're relying on your player to score, but you need them to keep it out. Ideally, one or two that can win you it, can't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Or at least be a presence in the goal. Yeah.
Anyway, we are out.
Yeah.
Which is, it's not. This is the story of the whole season so far. So
it's all about the Europa League now. But well, actually, Amorim said, the whole objective is to win the Premier League. So
no,
he comes out with some stuff.
This is the thing. It's just we were discussing it, the last couple of days with some friends. Is that he for some reason every week he gives why he has to give so many interviews apart from the pre-match and post-match press conferences, okay? When they ask you so many questions, in a week, you're bound to... Basically, what he was saying is that they hired me to win the Premier League. And all of a sudden, it was taken out of context, and everybody is just, what the hell is he talking about?
Because it gets clipped and it gets shared on social media and all this thing, and then more people taking the mick out of Man United and Amorim for all this. But I don't know. They need to get a grip of it, because he seems to have way more interviews than any other manager I've seen in the Premier League. Yeah. He has preview ones. He has sit-down interviews, long, in-depth with Sky Sports, with all these different channels.
It's crazy.
Sports, all of them. It's just crazy how many interviews he has. They need to sort that out, because he drives the headlines and it puts more pressure on him as well.
Not only that, he even said it himself that he needs to concentrate on the coaching side, not just talking to the
press. Does he have any time? I don't think he does. He's too busy sitting down and talking to everybody on the interviews. But so you're out of it. You just got to deal with it. You got to move on. But so what can you say?
What about the favourites now? Is it I think it's between Aston Villa and Man City.
Yeah, we were just saying that off camera. I think Man City are obviously the favourites in terms of strength.
Unless they're drawn together, I don't know.
Yeah, unless they meet in the semis, of course. But Man City, you'd like to think they're the strongest team left. Well, they are the strongest team left, to be honest, aren't they? They're the ones who have pedigree in the competition. They've won it, not last season. They could have won it, but they won it a few seasons ago.
Yeah, but again, they have been so consistent this year, so you never know.
But they have. But they are improving, and the teams that are left.
So you're going for Man City?
I think I don't want it to be Man City because I want somebody else to win, but I think they probably will do it. But Aston Villa right up there alongside them, I'd say Aston Villa.
I'm going for Aston Villa.
All right, so I'll go for Man City just to be different to you. But I don't want them to win. I think they
definitely I'm not going with Man City.
Saying that, Man City have got a tough game, haven't they? They're away at Bournemouth. So maybe if one way of looking at it, Villa have got a relatively easy game because they've got Preston away. But Bournemouth and Man City, who wins that, they got a good chance. Whoever wins that game, they've got a good chance of making the final out of those two, I'd say. They're two of the stronger teams left in the competition. Bournemouth as well as Aston Villa.
Maybe Nottingham Forest as an outsider?
Maybe. I mean, they've had an unbelievable season, haven't they? Imagine if they get top four and they win the FA Cup. What an incredible season that would be for Nuno. So... it's getting interesting now with these teams left.
Okay, let's go to the Premier League. It's Nottingham Forest, Man City.
Ooh, that's a good one.
For the
top four clash.
Top four clash. Brighton, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Ipswich, Liverpool, Southampton. Easy match for
You'd have
Liverpool.
thought so.
Bradford, Aston Villa. It's another good one.
That's a good one. Difficult.
Wolves, Everton. Another good one.
Yeah, down to the bottom.
Chelsea, Leicester. Tottenham, Bournemouth, Man United, Arsenal.
Oof.
West Ham, Newcastle.
Yeah, some good games in there. Again, they seem to throw up some good fixtures the last few weeks, and Newcastle need to bounce back because I don't want the problem. I don't want the disappointment from Brighton and all the fallout from all that to affect the league, because they're still in a good position to try and get a top 5 place, especially if there might be 5 places for the Champions League. It'd be great to get Europe again, even if it's Europa League. It'd be fantastic. I'm not massively optimistic about the League Cup final, to be honest.
Maybe you play in the Conference League.
Well, yeah, Conference League is good. We've seen it with the Cypriot teams. It can be quite good. And,
but for the revenue you get as a Premier League club, it's not much.
It's not. Maybe it's not worth it in that sense for sacrificing another. Every whenever it is, every weekday when it comes around, every other weekday. So.
On the other hand, you can play a weaker team. I mean,
teams like Chelsea have got the squads to deal with it. That's why it's been quite good for them. But Newcastle definitely don't have the squad. They'd have to have loads of youngsters, and it'll be like a B team. I think. So if it was Conference League, that is.
The worst case scenario for you is Europa League.
Yeah, because Conference League. I don't see how the depth of squad can cope with it unless they make loads of signings in the summer, and I can't see that happening either. Unfortunately. Right. So fingers crossed Europa League.
Right. And for us, Man United, it might end in about a week.
It's all about this next round, in a week's time. The first leg this week and then next week.
Yeah. If we're knocked out,
you've already played them, haven't you, in the competition anyway? Earlier on. So.
I know. But now we are depleted. Apart from the disaster of what is this season.
Might be worth playing that young player up front, Obi.
He is not registered. Apparently,
even as a underage, young.
No, but
player.
apparently they did not in the renewed list, in the January renewed list. He was not included.
Oh dear, because you've got Højlund who hasn't scored for 18 games.
Yeah, but maybe they thought 17-year-old in the Europa League. I don't know.
They need somebody like that to come in. Like when Rashford came in and he was 17 and he set the world on fire and he was unbelievable. They probably need something like that, and that's what he's doing at the moment.
Actually, in the FA Cup match, because now we have seen him in more minutes, he was really mobile. He was a threat.
He was causing defenders the problems. He was doing things that Højlund isn't doing.
Yes.
So he might be the answer maybe in the short
Because he
term.
was drifting back.
Yeah.
He was not just staying, up there, and it was easy. In my opinion, this is something that Højlund needs to change. I don't know who's guiding him. But he's always in duels and fighting with centre halves.
Wasting his energy.
He's not... And Obi Miguel, he was really good, and he could have scored in the last minute.
Yeah, that would have been dramatic, wouldn't it? But yeah,
so he's not in the list.
No, that's the same for you. The next crisis. No.
Amad Diallo is not there. Maino is not there. Luke Shaw is not there. This is the other guy from Chelsea.
Yeah,
Mount is not there.
Mason Mount not there. Another big money signing. So Anthony's playing brilliantly, but on loan at another club.
Well, they asked Amorim, and his reply is something that I was expecting that he was going to say that it's a different, the physicality of the Premier League is completely different from another league.
Yeah, especially La Liga, where it's
it was quite obvious that he couldn't cope with the physicality. They
stand off him a little bit more, and he's got more time to do his tricks and things like that, and find space.
And what's the pressure of Real Betis?
Yeah, yeah, true. Yeah, you can go and enjoy his football over there, can't he? Like he did at Ajax. Before.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's probably his level, really. Yeah,
even Rashford, he hasn't played for so long. Okay, Emery, he just is his way. He tried to. Not to just start him from the get-go, but everybody is impressed with Aston Villa.
Yeah.
With assist, with everything.
He's a high-quality coach, isn't he? And he brought some really good players in, actually. Yeah. And it was one of the new players, Asensio, who helped get them through the FA Cup game.
And if you're not getting results and, the pressure is too much, and I think I discussed this before, it looked like for Rashford, the pressure after that amazing season that he had, the pressure was really too much. Everybody had high expectations, and probably the club didn't handle it well, but at the same time, he himself, it was too much for him. It was quite obvious that it was too much for him.
Yeah, yeah.
I know people say, oh, but he's getting 300,000 a week. What are you talking about? They're professional footballers, but they are human beings. That's the thing.
And having to perform in the week in, week out.
It's like Isaac now. Maybe he will get a transfer in a big club, and he's a complete flop. We've seen this before. Now he's flying. His psychology is sky high. And the supporters, they don't understand this. It says, what are they doing? They have their Bentleys, they have the good life, they have the good girls, wax, what are they called? Why they cannot play football?
Yeah, they've got everything ready. They've got everything. They've got their own chefs. They've got everything. Exactly. Everything's fed to them. It's like pampered every day of their lives, every minute of their lives.
Yes.
But yeah, ultimately, they still got to go out there, physically perform, regardless of what's going on in their lives, or whatever the issues are. Confidence, and they could actually feel quite confident in themselves, but they look around, their team are just not performing, and that can bring you down as well. You're thinking, well, they're not feeling it today. So there's no cohesion, there's no joined up thinking. Well, we talk about this every week with Man United, but their season is over in the Premier League. It's all about the Europa League now.
Yeah. It's not just for Man United, for every team. Yeah, it's like, look at Liverpool.
Yeah, on the other end of it,
they are flying, and in my opinion, they don't. I know it might sound strange. They're on the top of the league. They're flying. They will win the league, but their squad is not that big. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not.
But they don't have too many injuries. Mo Salah, my opinion, the best player.
Yeah, and he doesn't seem to get injured
if
either.
They don't give him the Ballon d'Or, it would be a disgrace.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be. Now it's pretty much guaranteed they're going to win the Premier League. Yes. They've got a tough game in the Champions League because they've got PSG. They're not the PSG of Mbappe and Messi, and when they had all these Neymar over the years, but they're still a decent enough team, and they're obviously miles ahead in the French league. Considering they finished top of the Champions League, that was quite a tough draw they were given. But
look, they're playing really well, Liverpool. But as we mentioned in the previous episode, Mo Salah is completely in. He's a league on his own.
He's miles ahead of everyone.
Yeah. He's the one that put the pieces together for this year's Liverpool.
And he's still not signed a new deal next season, so he doesn't know where he's going to be.
I'm sure he will sign.
Surely he will. Maybe after they win the title, and maybe even the Champions League. Hopefully not the League Cup. Hope they don't win that one.
We'll see.
They're looking doing good.
Anyway, really good matches. This,
I think the Tottenham Bournemouth one's quite good as well, because that's two styles of play that I most like watching. Yeah. Tottenham, obviously, we know all about Tottenham, inconsistent, all that, and Ange pressure and all that. But they play, they still try and play good football. Now they've got a lot of their players back. Hopefully they'll be firing a bit more. And, as a neutral, I do like watching Spurs play when they're on song, when they're playing well. And then you've got Bournemouth, who have been this, not surprise package, because they've been good for a couple of seasons, and their managers, we know him about, his history in Cyprus and stuff. Iraola is only, they kept reminding him, they keep reminding me all the time about his only cup success was in Cyprus as a manager, and he's looking forward to try and get the FA Cup. But in the Premier League, he's sort of, he's not underrated because he's getting a bit more credit, but he was underrated at the beginning. He's the sort of bloke, manager who could go to like a big club, like a Man United or a Spurs or something like that, because he's I don't know. He just seems to have it all switched on. He has the players working in unity. They seem to be quite good up front in terms of interchanging positions, and they play with like width. You know, I like Semenyo on one side, and they got Cliver on the other side, and they just seem to be. They lost Solanke for big money to Spurs, so he'll be playing against his old team if he's fit. And then you've got Bournemouth who just play expansive football. They're like, the press is really impressive. I remember when they played Chelsea at home and Liverpool at home, and I watched those games, and they were really giving them problems, big problems, closing down. And so that's going to be an interesting clash of styles, the two clubs. So I'll definitely try and catch that if I can.
Yes, I think we mentioned this before, but Riola is using this physical trainer that he's really top notch.
Yeah, and he keeps them in ship shape, and they go to at the end, don't they? They keep that pressure, the press up.
But going back to what you said, maybe he would go to a bigger club. You cannot guarantee any success if you go to a bigger club, you know, because we have seen this before.
I think if Man United call him, he should say no and just stay at Bournemouth and then try and build and get more.
Man United are not going to make any changes. I'm not going to make any changes.
No, they're not. No, not what they've done and how much they've invested
and the bad decisions they made. You know, even the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Everybody is keep asking why they kept the. You know, if they were thinking at the back of their mind that we might change the coach, why they spent £200 million on transfers? Why, you know, they decided to make this change mid-season, which is always very difficult, with another coach that is using a different system. All these questions come up. So it's always difficult unless. Who is going to get Ariola now?
I don't think there's anybody in the Premier League.
Liverpool are really settled.
Yeah.
Probably this coach is probably better than Klopp.
Yeah, well, this, maybe, because we've got the same squad and look what he's doing with it. Yeah,
exactly.
Arsenal,
Arteta, they're going to get rid of him.
No, not at this rate. Not at this stage. Maybe another season.
Aston Villa going to get rid of definitely no.
They won't get rid of him unless they have a terrible end to the season. No, but even then, no.
Newcastle?
No, I don't think so.
So I don't expect that there would be any.
Man City, no.
I don't expect
United,
there would be. Yeah, exactly. So I don't expect that there would be.
Chelsea, no.
I don't think there would be many changes in the summer. Apart from the smaller clubs.
And that's what Bournemouth fans want to hear, because they, you know, and West Ham recently got Potter, so, you know, the bigger spending, bigger club like West Ham could have done it, but no.
And Potter went from Brighton to Chelsea and didn't work out.
And he was sort of scarred from it. He had to take a few years out or over a year out to cope with it all, because it was just, So it doesn't always, the grass isn't always greener, and it's not
maybe he will go to another country. Maybe he will go to a top club in Germany. I don't know.
Or in Spain, you know.
Or back to Spain.
Maybe like Bilbao coach or something. But yeah, we'll see.
So we'll see. So, okay. There would be, before the Arsenal match, the 1954 association, fan association, whatever, they're going to, they are urging the fans to wear black. They came out with a really strong statement about the Glazers, and they even mentioned, Matt Busby, that he would be turning his grave from how Man United end up.
Not just on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. Everything, the whole culture has gone.
And there are voices coming out about the financial situation and why they allowed the club to come to this position, and because everybody's discussing the last few months that there are no money for any transfers to come in. So
you're stuck. Amarim's stuck unless he can sell these players for big money or any money.
Yeah. So it's. Even in the summer, nobody knows what is going to happen unless money come in. So and when you come to discuss, oh, I need to sell Garnacho or Rashford, or I mean your best players to replace them and bring some players in, you're just wondering what? You've never been a selling club unless you wanted to get rid of your star name for some reason. But
I mean, there's not many looking around the squad. There's not many players you could get good money for. Maybe Bruno Fernandes, and that's about it. I can't see any big money. You're not going to get 70 million back for Hoyland that you spent, are you?
No, definitely no, definitely.
So
they overspend.
Garnacho maybe is an
maybe Garnacho was the
Garnacho and
in the January transfer window. They were, everybody thought that he might be going just to bring some money in, but in the end, they decided for him to stay. I don't know. It's a mess. It's a complete mess.
Yeah.
There's no other way to describe it.
No.
It's a complete mess. This is so, and also Glazer was asked whether he would sell the club. He said no. It was one word, no.
No.
So the supporters, they want to. They're going to have a big march towards Old Trafford before the game against Arsenal. So
it's just a circus, the whole thing.
Yes.
I wish them good luck, but it seems like the damage has already been done. There's been a lot of damage, and we'll see what's going to happen next on that one.
There is you cannot see a light at the end of the tunnel. You're wondering what is going to happen. What is the plan? What is you don't see any plan.
It's just a cycle, and the cycle doesn't even have a positive part of it. It just keeps going around in negativity.
Exactly.
Round and round.
Exactly. So this is
it's tough. It's tough for doing a Man United fan at the moment.
So it's good for Liverpool this season.
Yeah.
It's good for the English clubs in Europe. They are doing really well. So
good for the coefficient, for that fifth space.
For the coefficient, for the maybe one of them or two of them would win. They will have these 3 trophies now. So we'll see what's going to happen. Yeah. And as you know, I'm going to Manchester. So I'm not going to march.
You still want to go?
I'm not going to wear a black shirt.
Okay, yeah.
And the president of the supporters club will be there, of the Cyprus supporters club will be there. So I'll meet him when I go there. Maybe I will ask him to say a few words for the pot, what he's thinking about, and.
Keep it clean.
Yes. So we'll come back and discuss a bit more. I know we keep discussing more and more about United, but it looks like it's the Man United reality show keeps going on.
Yeah, it's the most interesting thing. It's like a TV show. It's like a TV series.
Because Liverpool from day one, they show their intention, and they have been so consistent. And it's not like in previous years where 2 or 3 clubs were really at it until the end of the season for the championship. Now it looks like it's end of February, beginning of March, and nobody's discussing who is going to be the champion.
No, it's just almost like everyone just accepts it secretly, privately accepts it. It's just happened. That's not a discussion point. It's done pretty much, even though it's not confirmed. It's done.
Yeah. So we're discussing about the domestic situation of Guardiola.
You just
whether this is cloud his judgment. That's why Man City is not doing that well. this is.
I mean, that gave you a bit of excitement. I mean, because as a Man United fan, you've got the terrible things going on at your club, but at least you could point to Man City, and it was quite funny because they were losing almost every week, and Guardiola was having a sort of a breakdown in front of the media every week. Yeah. But now they've seemed to have improved a little bit more, and Liverpool are running away with the title. So you need to cling on to something, don't you, to cheer you up away from Man United trouble, So,
okay, so
for your sake, let's hope it's at the weekend when you go and watch the game in person. Maybe you bring them some good luck from Cyprus.
Maybe. Anyway, I always enjoy going back to England every year. So
maybe pack your raincoat.
I think would be a good. Actually, the temperature would be around 15 degrees.
Okay,
So it'll probably be hot. In general, the atmosphere will be hot.
Yeah, for sure.
And okay, when I come back, we'll discuss more about the situation.
Thanks, Nicos.